Welcome, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to another vidIQ live stream. I'm Dan, and today it's all about community. Every week, we're going to be taking you through some vidIQ tools. We're going to share some advice with you, some tips. And today in particular, we're going to focus on comments and your YouTube community and how you can use it to help gain more views and grow your channel. And I'm going to bring in, of course, Mr. Rob.
Hey, Dan. You know what I like to do on a Wednesday morning is jam out to that intro music, which I cannot hear when I'm doing a live stream on Tuesday. And that music, it just gets me going in the morning or the afternoon or the evening or wherever you are in the world listening right now. Hi, folks.
It sets the tone. It really does. And I'm ready to not only go through some tools, but also answer some questions, because that's what we do here. We're going to do first just a little bit of time in our comment section showing you the comment template tool, and then we will be answering your questions. So if you think of any questions while we're doing this, be sure to write them down. We're going to do a Q&A section separately. So if you're here in chat and you're asking questions and things like that, perhaps moderators or someone will answer you, but we like you to save those so everyone can kind of, hear our words of wisdom as we answer your questions. So
should we do some shout outs first?
Yeah. I always forget to do that.
Yeah. So folks, let us know in the chat if you are a new vidIQer here, or you've been here for a long time, you're an original gangster. And yeah, we'll just say hello to some of you people. Like Pro Pixel Gaming is telling us that it's 6 p.m. So that presumably means it's either in Portugal, UK, or Ireland, if my time zones are correct there.
I wouldn't know. I'm not that good with time zones. Let's see. We have Amy Louise, an OG. Sonic Plays as a gangster.
Teaser Brain is new. Maris Mukbang is also new here. Thank you for joining us here at vidIQ.
Epic Bear has labeled themselves as old. Just an
old bear.
Yeah.
Somebody celebrating 500 subs here. TD Plays Games. Well done to you. OG Microwave. That's an interesting username. The original gangster Microwave, but he's new to vidIQ. That's awesome.
Do you think they teach us how to microwave Hot Pockets and actually have them in even temperature?
Maybe.
It's all about providing value. And I hate Hot Pockets for that reason. I cannot cook them evenly. 600 subs, travel with mood. I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Strike Drinks is a new subscriber. Hello to Camilla Duumbu. This is already going well. All right, who else are we saying hello to?
Let's see. NFL Nerd has said he's been here for quite a while, and also Stormedy Fan Club. Sorry for a mispronouncement of these. The chat goes so fast when we do this. We don't sometimes keep up with all of these. But also we are saying hello to SRN Clips here as well. But you know why we did that, Dan? Because we wanted to get the community engaged, and we wanted them to get comment, to make them feel welcome, and all of us part of this vidIQ family that we have here. And that's what we're talking about today, really, isn't it? About comments, engagement, not just you talking to a lens and somebody watching you from a mobile phone, the actual direct connection between the creator and first of all, the viewer, then maybe the subscriber, then maybe a key member of a community, and hopefully super fans by the end of it, to the point where you get somebody who's called a butler and does all of our timestamps on live streams. And that's a special shout out to Zenzarius. I don't know if he's here today, but that's where you may end up with such fantastic people in a community.
Another benefit too, not just saying hello to people, another benefit to having you all here in chat is that we can ask you questions. We can get some answers to those questions, and they could dictate future videos, which is what we're going to talk about.
True. Very
true. One of the things before we get started, I want to ask you guys is, what is your favorite vidIQ tool? If you had to pick one tool and you use vidIQ, what's one of the ones you just cannot live without? You use it all the time. Let us know. And this is the sort of thing that helps us kind of research. Maybe a lot of people mentioned a tool that we're going to cover soon if we feel like we could dive deep on it and explain the best ways to use it. So Loser Anna says keywords. Mob One says
what part of keywords are not just keywords? Like as a specific tool, like is it keyword inspector, or is it showing the tags on the search page? Be specific.
Keyword explorer, is that the inspector?
Yeah, I think it's got a couple of names. I mean, how vidIQ is kind of semi-evolved over time. The names kind of get a little diluted and butchered sometimes. Like I might call the real-time stats bar the real-time stats bar, and I know people, the engineers, I think, call it the toolbar or the vidIQ toolbar, and I have no clue what they're talking about.
Everything. SEO score. Someone just said description. What could they be referring to there?
Well, we've got a description campaign manager whereby you can do bulk editing of a description. Like if you need to add a link to all of your videos at once, several hundred videos, we have a tool to do that as well.
Gotcha. Search ranker, stats and sub count. So that must be the real-time stats bar. It's interesting too, the names people are calling.
It is, isn't it?
All right.
I mean, like, Mark's when the GM just says thumbnail. I'm thinking, is that the thumbnail in the video scorecard? Is that the thumbnail preview tool? Is that just all of the thumbnails in the channel audit tool? Yeah. Maybe we need to start giving proper names to all of our tools. It might help.
Best time to post I saw in there. Competitors. Nice. Well, why don't we get started with one of our favorite tools today? We are talking about the comment template tool.
Now, I would say, just before you get into this, Dan, I would say, of all the tools at vidIQ, this one has saved me the most humankind hours, I'll phrase it as, in the sense that it saves me from typing out the same response over and over again, and I've been using it now for several years, and I would guesstimate I've responded to at least 10,000 plus comments with this tool, and it just makes 30 seconds to a minute process literally take 3 seconds with like a couple of clicks. So I love this tool. It's one of my favorites. It's not the favorite because the real-time stats bar is, but this is probably my second most favorite tool because I use it so much. Like 1 or 2 hours after I publish a video, I will go into the comments and I've got that vidIQ button there to click and start responding. And as you'll see, a lot of the templates I've set up here, which Dan's going to demonstrate, are all of the templates I've set up over the course of a few years to respond to the common questions that we have and like general thank yous. But anyway, Dan, I'm going to hand it over to you now. I'm going to try and stay quiet as you do this amazing guide of what is, folks, a free tool, 100% free. There are no caveats to this. And this is why you should download vidIQ for all of this awesome stuff. Go ahead, Dan.
Yes. And if you don't know how to download vidIQ, you want to go to vidIQ.com and follow the process there. You can download it in Chrome or Firefox. So the comment template tool will show up here once you've downloaded it. It's going to be next to every single comment as you're in your comment section. We are in the YouTube studio right now, and all I've done is gone from the dashboard, which is over here, and I've simply clicked comments. But of course, if you go into the actual content, and then answer comments for an individual video, which this video hasn't released yet, so there are no comments. I clicked the wrong one. There, you will see it as well. So let's just click on any video here, and I click comments, and they're loading, and there's going to be a little button next to each one. Oh, wow. So you could see it there. A whole conversation loaded, and I wasn't expecting that. All right, we'll probably talk about the filtering too, because I'm not used to seeing the pinned comment in this back end because I'm always filtered to I've always filtered it a certain way.
Yeah.
So we want to look at we picked this comment right before we started because it was the first one we saw.
Yeah, and then you reloaded the page. I had mentally my hands in my head when you did that, Dan. It's like, oh no, we've lost that comment now.
Oh, you shouldn't have done that. Yeah, well, I found it. It's okay. The way we want to answer this comment, so it's getting to 10 subscribers is pretty easy. ... sad times. They're obviously quoting something here in this getting your first 100 subscriber video. Now, what could we say to them? We could try and just give them some words of encouragement. But one thing we like to use the comment template tool for is putting, I guess you could call them advertisements for our other videos in the templated comments.
But it's valuable, right? It's helping people.
Yeah, we're still helping people. So they're talking about how they don't have 10 subscribers. We can see they have 6 thanks to another vidIQ tool. And we can say, well, let's start with 100 subscribers. These videos should get you there. So if I hit instant reply, Rob's already put these video links here that talk about getting your first 100 subscribers. We know they've already watched this video. And it's probably one of these, but I don't know which one. And what you can do is I hit instant reply, but it didn't reply to them. You can edit this to be a little more personal, but at least you don't have to go back and find all 4 of these links every single time you want to help someone get their first 100 subscribers in our case.
Now, just imagine how long do you think this would take manually if I had to, first of all, write the comment and then scout around our channel to pick up all of the video links? You'd be thinking 2 or 3 minutes here. You know, times that by 20 comments, and you spent an hour responding to 20 comments. Whereas using this, if Dan and I were explaining it for a few minutes, this would have taken 5 seconds, and then we can maybe reply to 10 of these similar comments in a space of 2 or 3 minutes. And so that's where you're saving literally hours in a very short space of time with this tool.
Yes. As you answer more and more comments, as your channel gets bigger and bigger, yeah, that it's going to be a tremendous help to you. So I'm going to edit the first bit of this. You can do it. And these videos.
There you go.
There. So there we go. Comment edited, done, hit reply. And there it is. All the links are shiny and blue, so they can be clicked on. We can even hit heart next to it. We like to hit heart on as many comments as we can. And there we go. It's that simple to use.
Yeah, let's just add a little bit to that. So like anybody can like a comment with a thumbs up, but only the creator can heart a comment. And why I do that is it's kind of like a receipt to the viewer or commenter that I've read the comment. Now, sometimes I won't respond to the comment because maybe I don't have time or it's not an appropriate response, but at least it's an indicator that somebody at vidIQ is reading through the comments, they've seen yours, they've acknowledged that. Often they'll get a response, but not always. So I always recommend, I mean, people say, should I heart every comment? Should I thumbs up every comment? I would say, me personally, if you've read the comment, heart it, even if you don't respond to it. Because only you can do that as a creator, and that gives it a unique value to the comment itself. I personally don't think it has any impact or a marginal impact on actual engagement. It's not really for that. Again, it's for you connecting with the audience member.
Right. I do the same thing. I get a lot of comments that simply say, like, thanks, for example. And I could type out you're welcome. I could use the comment tool for that. Or I could just click heart, which is basically you're welcome in you know, emoji language anyway. So yeah, I like to go through comments, and if I can't reply, I hit heart on everything. It also gives me an opportunity to find comments that maybe are not great, and then I can go ahead and edit my you know, my filters appropriately.
Let's have a look at this one, Dan. I want to see if this works. So lazy whole ranch. I've just hit 500 subscribers. So first of all, heart it, of course.
Yeah.
And then click on the vidIQ button. Now, if you scroll down this list quite a lot, so this is just going to give you an idea of how many templates we've set up. And I think I don't know if it's unlimited, but you can certainly set up a lot. Now, is the one that says something along the lines of target or congratulations? I'm sure it's somewhere at the bottom here.
Congratulations, target.
So click on that. Right. Now, so what can you see here? Right. So congratulations. What's your next target on the list? So we already know that people talk a lot about hitting milestones and achievements, but can you see how it auto-populated the creator's channel name? What we can do here, that's done by what you do is when you're setting up your template comment, you put in like chevron user -name chevron. Ah, thanks, Dan. So there you go. Can you see at the bottom of this? Hint, add that. So when that's in the template text, that means that whenever you respond to a comment, it's automatically going to put that channel name in there as well. So that saves you a job of writing out the channel name as well. Like, we're trying to help you as much as possible there. So yeah, Dan, I mean, you could do that if you want. You know, let's just do that.
So I got user name, period. So as long as you put little arrows and user -name, then that person's entire username will populate that space.
Yeah, so let's create that very quickly. So let's just respond to this person. Oh, there we go. So it's already done on it. There you go.
Yep. Okay, so test template was just popped here at the bottom. So thank you for subscribing. And then it puts their username right there, which is nice. And some people have ridiculously long usernames, and this can kind of give you away, in my opinion. Sometimes it's like, obviously you didn't type out every single number. You use some kind of thing. So again, that's why it's nice when you hit instant reply, you can actually edit this. You know, if you want to just, you know, call them lazy, for example, which I wouldn't do. How do you delete one, by the way? I've never deleted one before.
So you click on it to select it. and then you should have a delete button, so you can delete there if you need to. So there we go. I just quickly removed it.
All right. So congratulations. And what's your next target on the list? So if we hit instant reply, there we go. We have their name in there. What's your next target? And we can just hit reply.
And there we are. What we've done there is potentially generated a conversation. Now, unfortunately, due to the unique way that YouTube's comment system is still a little rubbish, we'll never really know if that person replies to that comment unless we're really diving down, like the scale vidIQ is, where we get hundreds, if not thousands, of comments a day. So I do still wish that YouTube would help us a little bit there in terms of, showing us when we get replies and whatnot. But maybe that's just going to make it even more complicated. But think again, like at scale, how many comments you could reply to with this tool, especially when you're being asked the same question over and over again. Like we get asked questions about 4,000 hours of watch time all the time. So we have these template responses that we can chuck in there. And then we got some general ones as well, Dan. I mean, I don't know if you just want to select a random one. And then which is the one I look at? It's scroll up again. No problem. I think that's the one. Is it no problem? So I use this one a ton, where somebody says, thank you for the video. It was really helpful, valuable. I use this template response, which includes their username, but it also just encourages them to maybe give a video a bit of a like as well to increase our engagement. And again, you can spend 20 seconds typing it out or 3 seconds with a couple of clicks, and there you are. And I think that's really the gist of the comment template tool in a nutshell, and how valuable it can be.
The one thing you did talk about a second ago, which I've been struggling with as well, is what happens when this person replies. Like, how do we filter this so we can see the reply? And let's real quick talk about this filter tool up here. I've been using this more and more. My favorite one, so I have two favorites. I have one that says contains question. So if people are asking you questions and you get a lot of comments, you can just filter it. And I'm just pretty much, I think it's just looking for question marks, to be honest with you. So we can go in and answer questions for folks and just filter those. Or there's response status. And a lot of you probably have this set to comments you have not responded to.
I think that's a default, isn't it, when you first go to that screen? Yeah.
And I like to once in a while jump into comments I have responded to.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times that's where you'll find, right here, the Eggist already replied to us.
Oh, how cool is that? That is YouTube engagement in action. Beautiful. Yeah, you should put live. You're live on our live stream. Look at that, folks. That is just a perfect example of how this free tool has helped us engage with one of our members. And this little conversation may persuade them to subscribe, may persuade them to download vidIQ or invest in a product and service, depending on whatever you are promoting on your channel, as well as building your community.
Yes. So even once we've replied to, this is a very long list, and conversations continue. But if your channel maybe is not as crazy as ours when it comes to comments, this is probably a very helpful tip for you. It's something I only recently just started doing. I knew the filters were there, I just never touched them. So
another thing you can do here as well, Dan, if you go to filters, let's say you're a large channel with maybe hundreds, if not thousands of comments a day. Click on subscriber count. Now, you could say that, unfortunately, because you just get so many comments, sometimes you need to prioritize the ones from those who have more influence. And sometimes that is an unfortunate, sad fact. You want to try and respond to every comment, but maybe if somebody responds who's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, by responding to them, and you're a large channel as well, that could mean that you could have some sort of collaboration with them in some way, shape, or form. You must have done under 100,000 there, maybe, or equal to.
That's interesting.
So maybe YouTube's tool's not working there. But that's another one. As long with channel membership as well, like if people are paying to be part of your YouTube channel and get more content, you may want to prioritize responding to them as well. But this is more for channels that are at scale. And yes, as you can see, it doesn't. Oh, there we are. Jake Philman. Hello, Jake. There he is. Oh, he did comment then 6 days ago. See, I didn't even realize he commented. That's interesting.
Huh. You should try this filter.
I do have an ongoing conversation with him on Twitter DMs, though, because if you haven't heard of him yet, I'm sure you will do. I think he gets more views. I think he gets more views than Mr. Beast these days.
Well, let's see here. Now I'm lost. We talked about adding to the comment template tool. We talked about the username trick. And one thing I want to do before we jump into question and answer is just talk about some of the different things we can put in here. We've already discussed video links. Any other noteworthy things here?
Yeah, I mean, people used to ask if vidIQ is safe because of the permissions it asked. It's a little out of date, that one now, because our permissions have reduced a lot. A lot of people were concerned about does vidIQ delete videos, which it never has done. But again, for the really weird way that YouTube needed permissions for comments, we had to add that in there. But now we've refined our permissions, so we don't need to do that anymore. Good news soon, a little further down. That was one where people were submitting their channels for, I don't know, whether it be monetization or appealing a strike. And it's a very simple one, but at least that's kind of like a generic one that we can add in there. Like copyright guidance. That's a big question that we always get. So you can see over time that we've developed a lot of content and responses based on the community asking us these questions. And yeah, I mean, copper, I mean, some of these are a little out of date. I mean, maybe I need to go through this list a bit and refine it, but it's nice to have this all as a backup to just add in those answers as quickly as we can.
If you make a series of videos on a topic like we do all the time, like gaming, for example, we can always have the gaming playlist in here. And we could say, oh, if you like that video, we have a whole playlist of gaming videos.
Now, I think what we should add at this point is if you just click off our comment template tool for a second, Dan, if you just scroll down slowly, let's see. Right. Okay. Stop right there. So can you see that one that says very new, that comment? Now you can already see that there are some boxes here that say welcome, very, sure is, which are all a bit nonsensical. So this is YouTube's automated comment response tool. And then as you can see, it doesn't give you this option for all comments, and it still leaves a lot to be desired in the sense that it doesn't quite work that well. So this is why our complete template tool, which has been around now for 5 years, is still super valuable, because for the YouTube automated stuff, it's very generic. You know, it can't work out that you have a video that's going to answer a specific question. So that's where, you know, just with a 2-minute setup, that's where you're going to be able to put in these comment template response tools. So thank you, YouTube, for setting this up. But I would still say that we do a far better job at this. As Dan is now, putting in a quick response there.
The only thing is, Rob set all these up, and I don't use them a whole lot. I use my own. So I'm like trying to find like a welcome or something. Like, I'll just type it.
Yeah, there is a. So click on there. There is one, right? Yeah, because this is all in my head titles, because you can't make the titles very long, because if it's on 2 lines, then it kind of makes it look a little weird. There's a welcome to YouTube. There we go. That's the one. Thank you, Dan. There we go. Look at that.
Now they could be new to just the channel, though. I don't really know. But,
yeah, let's just stick it in though. It'll be fun.
Well, I already replied.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, let's reply again. Let's give him 2 comments. let's give him a heart and 2 comments. There we go. Okay. And he's hidden his subscriber count, so we can't guide him on how many subscribers he should have.
So there you go. Confusing day for commenters here at vidIQ. What do you think? Ready to move on to some Q&A?
Yeah, let's just open this up to the audience a little bit. Like, what do you, now that you know this tool a little bit more, do you think you will start using it? Or if you already use it, maybe just share your experiences in the comments. Because this tool has always been free. I'm pretty sure it will continue to be free because we've not sunset the tool, but we kind of we feel as if we've done everything we can with it. And so it's just there for everybody to use. And so we always appreciate feedback on these types of tools. And it is one of those little things like, yeah, the keyword research is going to help me get people into the videos, and the thumbnail preview tool is going to help me get more clicks on my content. But, you know, post video, engaging with your community, as Dan expertly showed there, responding to a comment, 2 minutes later, we've got a response to it. So we're building up a rapport with that creator. I think it's just an awesome tool, and yeah, I still use it to this day, and I will do after I publish the next video on vidIQ.
I wanted to bring this up real quick because I have a feeling that we might have some folks here that feel this way.
Yep.
Don't get enough comments to use it. I would still recommend setting up something in there just to have it, because as you create videos, especially as you're making videos of value, of note, and you feel like, you know, this video is helping a lot of people. It's getting a lot of views. Maybe I want to just note that in the comments in case someone else asks on a different video, hey, do you know how to do XYZ? And then you can go to it. But the other reason I want to bring this up is if you're not getting enough comments, one way you can change that is to answer the comments you do get and to prompt discussion in every video you make.
I love it, Dan. Yeah,
possible.
Good
so
idea.
yes, if you're creating a video, and I'm trying to think of an example. Let me just stick to gaming, I guess. You create a video about a Minecraft mod that you're covering, and you're like, hey, by the way, like, what's your favorite storage mod? Today I'm showing you this. People will comment, people will give you their favorite storage mod, and suddenly you have more comments than you know what to do with. So a lot of the lack of comments can really be determined by you and the level of engagement you seek within your videos.
Dan, let's quickly bring up the screen again. That's a good point, and I want to demonstrate the perfect example of this. So can you filter and search by support a creator? And now I just did a video on this on Monday, so it's well worth watching that. We asked a question in a video, and you can see that on the right-hand side. It was like, how to get your first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube in 2021. I actually made that in 2020, but let's keep that secret between you and I. A question I asked at the very beginning of that video, like in the first 15 seconds, was, why do you want 1,000 subscribers? And I just assumed the obvious answer to this would be monetization. But what we kept seeing throughout these comments was support a creator. And what I realized after a bit of research was that, or maybe Dan told me this, was that a support a creator code is something that you get in Fortnite, a huge gaming niche on YouTube. So I thought, do we need to answer this question that we keep getting in this video? And that is exactly what Dan did. So Dan, if you go to content, and if you quickly search for, you can go to the search across your channel and just type in support a creator. Yeah. Now there's going to be 2 videos here. So you want the bottom one, May the 11th. Yeah, so click on the analytics. So in response to that video, in response to those comments, and then sort by lifetime, in response to these comments, Dan made a video, and it got 500,000 views, which is awesome. So we were directly responding to our audience, and that there was a result. Now we did another follow-up video, which tanked a little bit, and we actually talk about that in the video that I did on Monday, which is how we screwed up. So if you want to know the full story about that, it's an interesting little dive into why it's worth, even when you make bad videos, it's worth experimenting. Because funny enough, Dan, stay there. You see that video like we screwed up. That video is actually done really well. The video about us screwing up. So I've actually just started another video, which is about how we nailed it with this video about how we screwed up. So there we go. That's a little insight into my weird brain and how it functions on YouTube.
So one question you asked a year ago led to 1, 2, 3, 4 videos.
Yeah. It's getting there. Yeah.
From one question.
Yeah.
And that's why we titled this live stream as such, getting more views from your community, because that's what the comment section is there for, to build a community.
Yeah.
And
a single question has now led to over 500,000 views on 4 videos in a year. We'll tell that.
Just some more self-promo stuff. Last Friday, we did a podcast on a community. We interviewed our community manager, Dan H., who's in here in the chat now. And we talked about... Hello. Thank you for being here. We talked about all kinds of stuff related to growing a community, not just on YouTube itself, but when you would say start a Discord and things like that. You can go watch that on the replay now here on the channel, or you can wait until tomorrow. It's going to be up on your favorite podcast feed. So there you go, Tube Talk. Okay. Let's
just clarify then before we move on to Q&A, Dan. So what we've just shown you there, like if you're looking at these screens, so yeah, maybe just bring up the screen again. Sorry, Dan, I know I keep taking control of this, but if you bring up the screen, so what we've shown you there is a vidIQ button. And then, Dan, if you just mouse up over the real-time stats bar, this is like a snapshot of your channel. Yeah, like that. And then if you look at the left-hand side, you've got all of these tools, such as the keyword inspector, competitors, trend alerts, channel audit. Maybe just click channel audit, just to give something really impressive on screen. This is all, if you're not familiar with it, with vidIQ, we're not just a channel audit channel. We're not just a live stream channel. We are a company that makes software to help you grow on YouTube. And these are But I mean, that comment template tool is just one of the. I mean, it depends how you look at it, but I've counted over 100 vidIQ tools. I mean, you could maybe say it's more like a dozen core tools, but this is just another one. So what you need to do, if you haven't already, is check out the link in the video description to download vidIQ. Or if you want to take full advantage of vidIQ and invest in us as we invest in improving your channel, then we currently have an offer on, I think. I don't know if Dan wants to quickly put this in the pin chat. And Dan, I'm maybe putting you under pressure here to try and find that page.
No, I got it.
But at the moment, we have a very special offer because it's just after Valentine's Day, and we still love you even after Valentine's Day. And if you purchase a year subscription to vidIQ, which includes all of our tools, full access to the vidIQ Academy, which we don't promote enough, you will get the 20% regular discount to the annual subscription. But also, and this is worth $500 in itself, so it's effectively free, you get a full 1 hour one-on-one channel audit where we're not just passively looking at your channel and discussing it amongst ourselves. You're actually talking directly to a person, and they're going to riff with you to help you grow your channel. So you get that free, and you also get a full-on training session. So you go into even more detail than what we just talked about with comment template tool. And that is an offer that's, I think, currently on for another 4 days, and we've got limited spots. So I think there is also a link to that in the pinned comments right now. Thank you very much, Dan H. And I think there might be one in the description as well. So if you do want to take full advantage of vidIQ, there you have it. Sorry, Dan. I go off on these. I'm going to call vidIQ rants. So maybe we should get to Q&A.
If you didn't bring it up, I was going to, because I just want to mention our coaching, by the way, has taken channels from thousands of subscribers to, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. One's about to hit their first million. So let's, let's consider this. If you're thinking about getting Boost anyway, maybe buy a year, maybe get yourself a one-on-one with one of our fabulous coaches. All right, cool. So we're doing Q&A now. Be sure to start your question with #question so we can pick it out in chat. It really does help because there's a lot of folks talking here. You guys are having conversations amongst yourselves, which we totally encourage, but it'll help to pick out your questions if we see a little #question. So let's see if anyone's started, if anyone's kicked us off.
Start the first one. So first, we'll answer this question. Currently, vidIQ, we're just giving a big plug to vidIQ, and then we're going to give you a little bit of bad news here. But no, vidIQ does not currently work on Safari. It is, as Dan said, a Chrome and a Firefox browser extension. However, there is some good news in terms of Apple. We do have an app, a mobile app, which is available on Android and iOS. So you could check that out if you are in the Apple walled garden environment of software.
A lot of cool tools in there as well in our mobile app. So we get this one quite a bit. Does the category you choose matter, and why? I'm going to say the category on your channel, unless you're a gaming channel, and maybe there's another example of this, but I personally have a gaming channel, is very inconsequential. I'm not even sure YouTube really looks at it. Rob can speak more to this. Gaming, though, has a cool feature where you can select gaming and then you can select the game that you're playing. And that's important for ranking, say, on the live stream pages and stuff that YouTube set up for gamers. So I'd really recommend using gaming if you play any kind of gaming content on YouTube. Even if you're, I would go so far as to say, if you made an animation about Minecraft, for example, maybe it's still worth ranking yourself as gaming and then Minecraft just to show up in there. Use that at your tip of your own discretion. I could be way off saying that, but I personally don't see a problem.
Dan, do you want to go into one of our videos and let's bring up the category tab, and I'll talk a little bit about this. So unless I'm mistaken, I don't think the categories on YouTube have changed in like a decade or whenever they were first introduced. So let's be honest, sometimes your video doesn't necessarily fall into one of YouTube's preconceived categories, so to speak. And yeah, we're finding it hard to find. So, I mean, even we thought about where we should be, and currently we're in how to and style, but we could be in education. We could be in science and technology. I don't really overthink this. I think just look at it from this point of view. If you're making a video about travel, then don't put it in the pets and animals category. Try and fit the category as closely as possible. But I don't think it's necessarily going to make your content more discoverable. It's one of those, I say, minute fractions of a signal that's going to be sent to YouTube in terms of categorizing your content. I think this is probably more useful for advertisers. I think if advertisers are saying, I want to put my adverts in a sports category because I'm promoting a equipment or sports gear, then that's going to help say, your video is about sports. So we're going to let this advertiser advertise on your video. Now, I am oversimplifying that by a huge margin. So I take that with a little bit of pinch of salt. So like you, for example, Paragon Ridge Ranch. So I'm guessing you're maybe about farming, agriculture. So if I was going to pick a category for you, which one's sticking out to me? It might be pets and animals, but I don't know. You might be a vlog about farm life. So it's more relevant to be people and blogs and so on. So yeah, just find what roughly associates with you and stick it in there.
Just to show the gaming bit here, if you click gaming, this is when that option pops up. And then you start typing in Minecraft, and then you get all the different options. You want to click these, by the way, because there are different versions of all these different games. So you spelled it right when you click the actual game. But yeah, I don't think any other category does that.
I think you're right there, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe music might do in the future, perhaps, to tie in, but not now.
So yeah, we put most of our videos under how-to and style. And the style part always threw me. And the fact that they don't put how-to as 2 words always threw me.
Yeah.
It's like, is that a weird way to say how-to? So I don't know. But that's where I would put these videos as well. Discard changes. Here we go.
I guess I should start looking for another question now, Dan. Let's see.
Yeah, let me hit new comments here. So, and also, by the way, we ask you guys to not spam your comments. You can ask more than once if we miss you, but give it a few minutes, because sometimes we just lock the chat in one place and then talk. And, it could be, we could end up seeing your comment after all. So we already kind of touched on this from DCU Studios, but just to reiterate, I don't get comments, but I answer all the ones I do get. How do I get more? That really does come down to you and the type of content you make. Find an excuse to ask a question or prompt a conversation within your content. If you have 1,000 subscribers in the community tab, you can always prompt discussion in there as well. That'll give you lots of comments, especially right now.
Make sure you ask a comment in the first 30 seconds. People, I think, just don't realize that. And try and make it a specific question as well. Like a lot of people tend to say, "Oh, what do you guys feel about this?" Whatever it is, and I'll ask it in the final 30 seconds. And when you ask that, that's usually an indication to the viewer that the video's ended, and so we're going to switch off. So try and think of a specific question you can ask at the very beginning of the video that kind of leads into the content itself. Yeah, I mean, Dan, again, let's just go back to that 1,000 subscribers one. That's probably a good example. So if you just share my screen, share your screen again.
All right.
And then just search for 1,000 subscribers. And then we've got so many of them, show all. And then, so it's that one. So look at how many. So it does have 800,000 views. Great. But look at how many responses there are. That's an engagement rate of about 9% on a video with that many views. That's incredible for me. You look at the one below it, which is, I think, how to get 1,000 subscribers. And maybe I didn't ask that question. That has 200,000 views, but far less comments by ratio, I think, doing some quick maths.
Yeah, that is you just not asking.
Yeah,
5,000 people still said something.
Yeah,
which is
not bad.
But had you asked the question, why do you want your first 1,000 subscribers? Kaboom!
No, I'd love to do this. I'd love to do this in every video, but sometimes I just can't think of the right question. And you do it, Dan, as well. I've noticed in your videos, you're almost like after the intro, you're gearing up for a question to ask.
I try, yeah, and sometimes it's really difficult. Sometimes there's not a good topic to bring up. But the thing I think everyone here will kind of learn as you continue providing value to an audience. We provide a very obvious value here, so we know that our audience really likes. And this is not something I'm saying as an insult. Our audience likes to talk about their channels themselves. So we ask about them in particular. We don't ask them, what do you guys think we should be doing next, or things like that. They're here because they want to grow their YouTube audience. If you teach math on your YouTube channel, people are there because they want to learn a math lesson. So, teach what you want to teach, give the value you're trying to give, and make sure the questions you ask relate to the audience.
Sorry, Dan, I don't know if we're trying to keep the questions comment related, but
if we can, if not, there's
I know Bright Lily is always engaging with us in. So this is another thing when you try and remember those people who are commenting on all of your stuff, and you can't answer every question, but you want to try and do your best to answer them when you can. So why do I get huge drops in retention in the first few seconds of a video? Well, again, Dan, let's share your screen, and we'll just show you what happens on one of our videos. Let's find a really successful video. Actually, let's do your gaming video, the one that's kicking ass right now. So Dan's done another How to Start a Gaming channel in 2021, and as you can see, look at all that search traffic. Who said search was dead? But look at that suggested as well, Dan. Oh, very tasty. Right, scroll down. So the video is 11 minutes, okay, and the audience view duration is 3 minutes 51, 33%. Now on the face of it, that doesn't seem that good, does it? And if you look at the very beginning of the video, look at the drop off. Can you just mouse over it? It drops off to what, 65%? What does the information check mark say? Does it say it's about average? This is typical. All right.
Yeah.
So in the first few seconds, you're always going to get quite a significant drop off. The intention is you want to try and keep that as high as possible, because you want to try and, I think once a person's engaged for 30 seconds, there's a much longer chance of them watching the rest of the video, but that's not always the case. Now in this video, after the initial drop off, it is a steady decline, so that people are not abandoning in great droves, and there's a little chink there as well where it goes up a tiny bit, about 2/3 of the way through. So I mean, this isn't bad. Now what I will stress is that this can fluctuate greatly for different channels. The fact that people are finding this content through search always means that there's a different viewer intent. Usually they're wanting to get an answer to a question, and if they're not satisfied, or they can get bored very quickly, they'll move on. That's fine. And vidIQ is in the business of education, and we understand that people's time is precious, and some people will abandon it. I mean, Dan, if you click on see more, this is another really interesting thing to look at here. And then, no, not on this, sorry, on the main analytics, see more. And then if you sort by traffic sources.
Oops.
And then if you just scroll down, what you should find here, fingers crossed, is that it's not that bad, actually. Usually, when there's a huge discrepancy between YouTube search and suggested video audience view duration, usually the view duration is a lot higher when it's suggested, because the viewer's intent is different for whatever reason. Now, I think on the channel as a whole, you'll see that. But it is still the case here that people watch for longer, depending on how they discover the content. So you do have to factor that in as well. And then the final thing is, if your thumbnail is completely different to the beginning of a video, that can just be an instant turn off, and that's unavoidable. I think this is exaggerated in TikTok. I mean, my partner every night really annoys me. This is why I bought some noise cancelling headphones so I can read at night while she's on TikTok. She's ruthless. 3 seconds in, she'll swipe and she'll swipe and she'll swipe. Now, it's pretty much the same in YouTube. If the video doesn't hook the viewer in the first 5 seconds, then move on to something else. So that's on us as creators to keep interest. So I would say, generally speaking, if your audience retention is somewhere in the region of 80-70% in the first 30 seconds, you're doing a phenomenal job. If it's in between, say, 65 and 45%, then you're probably in that middle band, where 95% of creators are, including ourselves. And then if it's something lower than maybe 40%, then there's something clearly going wrong at the beginning of the video. Whether it's some really annoying audio, or, I mean, sometimes people just think you play, it's a video about gaming, and the first thing they see is somebody's face. It's like, oh, we're going to do a long rambling intro here. I just want to find out more about the game.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I don't know if I've ruined our audience retention on the live stream by giving you a massive answer. Actually, I think another 30 people have joined us. So
That's
yeah,
fantastic.
that was good. Yeah.
Yeah. And I always, just on retention, I always tell people to really scrutinize this. The larger this first 30-second dip is here, the more scrutiny you should kind of give your intro. And also, if you're noticing a point in the video where it dips significantly, I always like to click see more. Like the opposite would be, it actually went up here just a tiny bit. But I like to watch just a few seconds before that happened and listen and see what is it that made that go up or down, and learn from that. So
you can't get the viewer back once they've gone. So that first, I'm trying to do this a bit more, where I spend more time and effort on the first 30 seconds of a video, and then like, I'm not saying I'm spending less time, but I'm putting the resources I have available to me into the title, the thumbnail, and that first 30 seconds.
Yep.
And that requires a lot of discipline because I haven't done that in the past.
Had I started this video with some gaming footage rather than me, and then I pop on maybe after the first 30 seconds, it probably would have set the tone a lot better for people who saw the word gaming and then saw some hairy dude pop up on the screen. So keep all these things in mind, learn from them, be your own best critic, and don't beat yourself up or anything, but learn from them in the sense that you can make your next video even better. Don't sweat it. Like, I'm not going to go back and re-edit this video and re-upload it. I'm happy with what it's doing and the way it is. And now I'm going to take lessons I learned from this first 30 seconds from this retention graph and try to apply them to the next video.
Yeah, I mean, this video is dominating in search, and the thumbnail must be good and clickable. So we've done some good things here. And as you say, Dan, just move on, not learn from your mistakes, but just incrementally improve your content.
Yes. So thank you, Bright Lily.
Bright Lily, by the way. That's a very long answer. I hope you got some value out of that.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, hashtag Rob Rants. Thank you, Amy Louise. We're actually, it's funny, just again, a bit more about community. We audited her channel. Dan, I don't know if you remember yesterday, it was a beauty channel, and we were talking about the backgrounds on her thumbnails. And now we've been having like a little bit of a conversation in Twitter, like she's changed them to white now. And her community was responding that they're 50-50 split on it. So I don't think that's a bad thing, because usually your community doesn't like change. So if you're changing something and there's a 50-50 split, I think it's worth testing. So yeah, thanks for joining us, Amy. And fingers crossed those thumbnails do help and improve your click-through rate. All
right. So...
yeah, have you lost your train of thought there, Dan?
Yeah, I have. That was...
It's funny because like when I'm not hosting, like I've got my full mental capacity to just waffle. So like great. Whether it's a Rob Rants or a Wilson Waffle, there you have it.
The Wilson Waffle's great.
Yeah, I should probably get a shirt for
that. Let's see here. I'm trying to read some of these questions before I click them. I'm not really sure what this means. Maybe you can help me decipher this. The shorts, which I schedule a fortnight ago. Okay, you scheduled these shorts a while ago. Kind of crawl and give single digits, but then ones I post right away to public go skyrocketing. What? Oh, I haven't seen that effect yet.
So I think the first thing I would say is I wouldn't bother scheduling a single short. I would just launch them straight away. Why would you want to schedule a short? Remember that with shorts, it's less about initial velocity. I mean, I think that's probably going to generally help. But as Dan will attest to, shorts can just skyrocket days, weeks after they're launched. So why you should wait to schedule? I mean, what this might be doing, but it's complete theory and myth. It might be when you schedule it, it might confuse YouTube into thinking that it's a long form piece of content, even though it isn't. So it's excluded from shorts. Again, I could be wrong here. I'm just trying to think of reasons why it might not be working. But I would just post them straight away. Don't wait to schedule them. Doesn't seem to be any reason why you should do.
Remember, they're more for search than your subscribers. You can even keep them from going to your subscribers. So that could be, if you want to. So that could be helpful to you if you're worried about interrupting your normal schedule. So what is a good vidIQ routine to use when planning a video? And we kind of talked about this last week.
I have a video about this, Dan. So let's go to our search page again. And then if you can do how to get, is it 1,000 subscribers or 100? I can't remember. I think it's it's that one. This is the second one there. How to get your first 100 subscribers. So I recommend all of you watch this video, which is essentially a tour of vidIQ and how you can use it to get 1,000 subscribers on the free version of the tool. I specifically logged into a free version of vidIQ to show you how to use our tools. And I think, basically, to paraphrase, I started with search. I looked at channels that were performing well with a small amount of subscribers. I think I also use the vidIQ tool to do a bit of keyword research and find a valuable keyword within a certain topic. I think it was Fortnite. But even though I think the topic is Fortnite on gaming, you can apply that to any topic. You just got to basically replace Fortnite with, what are you, coaching. So it might be coaching skills. I can't think of a good keyword there. But so, yeah, I mean, it's like it's using the keyword research. Then I think there's a little bit about comparing thumbnails using the thumbnail preview tool, which you do get free access to begin with. Then it was about reviewing your content through the channel audit tool and so on. And this is, how long is it, Dan? I think it's about 30 minutes. Yeah, it's a 30-minute kind of introduction to using vidIQ for free. So I would recommend using that as a reference point, Tara.
There you go. All right. Let's see. Sorry, getting confused. Oh, it looks like Dan and I also posted the link to it in chat there. So there you go.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay. There's a lot of long questions here, so forgive the silence as I try and read through
Just imagine
them.
We can't use this for copyright reasons, but just imagine the Jeopardy music playing right now.
Let's.
Thanks, Dan.
We got that. Some of these questions are so specific that it's hard to comprehend them in just a few seconds time here.
I think this is one of his classic ones. So I recently promoted a video I uploaded. I got 10,000 views on it and gained 60 subscribers, but gained almost 0 watch time for obvious reasons. Is it a good idea long term? So my assumption here is when you say promoted, you used Google Ads or something to like as a video advert. I could be wrong about this, but that would explain why it got lots of views. Maybe people subscribed to it, but hardly anybody watched it. So generally speaking, if you're promoting a video, it's because you're trying to sell something like a product, service, a solution. And that's not what viewers are necessarily on YouTube for. That's I guess a compromise of the service that you are on YouTube because you want to watch your favorite channels, you want to get answers to questions, but you have to watch adverts as a compromise to that. So we are always going to encourage organic growth, whereby you're providing content that people want to watch, either because they love you as a creator, a storyteller, or they love the solutions that you have to provide for whatever they're trying to be educated on. So long term, I don't think it's a good idea. The caveat I will add is that I know some people, when they were first starting on their channels, but I don't have much proof of how successful this was, is that they would make like a tutorial and then they would put some Google ads on it to get some traffic on it to maybe push that video to the higher up in the search rankings and then let the video survive afterwards. But again, it's quite a high risk cost strategy and I wouldn't do it. But that's just my thoughts. Dan, I'm sure you probably agree with me on this one. It's all about organically growing a channel.
Yeah, I don't see how creating an advert with your content and putting it out there is going to be a great way to grow. I think what it's going to do is make you really excited to see a bunch of views, followed by unrelenting disappointment when when those views disappear. You make another video and you don't promote it, and then those people didn't come back. So you could certainly try it if Google gives you some like free AdSense dollars, which they do sometimes. I mean, you can give it a try, but just temper your expectations.
I guess just in case we are misinterpreting this, maybe you're saying you're promoting these videos by going into communities and posting videos. Now, that wouldn't necessarily fit the answer to this, because usually if you're posting a video and people are watching it, they'll not only click on it and you'll get the view, but they'll watch it as well to see an answer. But what I would suggest is, if you're doing that, is make sure that you become a valued member of the community for something beyond your videos, or that your videos are so valuable that they're worth posting. And it's not because it's like self-promotion, it's because you're seeing a question in a Reddit forum and you're posting the exact response because you know the answer to that. I'm sure if we went into Reddit YouTubers forum and we only looked at specific questions that people asked, and we answered with maybe like a paragraph answer of text, and then say, if you want more information, you can check out our video as well. That might be another way of doing it.
Gotcha. Let's see. Sorry, I've started looking for another question.
Me too.
A lot of people asking about getting more discoverable, more views. You know, let's see. Like cookie sheets and sweets here. As a new creator, how can I make my channel and content more discoverable to potential viewers in my niche community? Now, a lot of people are asking a very similar question. So if you've been asking a question similar to this, just pay attention. So Cookie Sheets and Sweets is obviously a baking channel. At least I would hope so. And I remember, I think they were here last week, in fact. Thank you for returning. The best thing I can say is make videos that are as niche down as possible so people know what to expect the next time they're coming back. So if you are Cookie Sheets and Sweets, don't suddenly pivot to cakes one day. If people are subscribing to see you make cookies, you've been making cookies consistently, and now suddenly you're making a totally different type of dessert or treat. That is one thing, I think, because your content will become more discoverable as you become an authority on cookies, as an example. Do you want to expand on that?
I just want to have a quick look at the channel.
Okay.
And I mistyped it, cookie sheets and sweats. So I didn't find the channel at first, but now I have. So what I will say is, welcome to YouTube. You've only been on YouTube for 3 weeks, and your thumbnails, by the way, are phenomenal. Really good. I like them. I think you just need patience at this point as well. Like, you need a sample size of 25 to 50 videos to get an idea of what content you're going to be making. I mean, you have two outliers here. So here's the interesting thing. You have 2 videos about buttercream roses, and they both have the highest amount of views. So maybe that could be your little niche, your foundation platform. Like, every 1 in 4 videos is going to be about buttercream roses, because I know my videos perform well there, but it still gives you an opportunity to expand on other content as well. But just patience at this point. I'd also say as well, as a cooking channel making lovely cookies, can you maybe tie it into popular culture and trends? For example, Valentine's Day was very recent. I see one video where you said delicious jam cookies and they have hearts in the middle. Maybe you could have tweaked that a little bit to say making delicious Valentine's jam cookies, just to have that little bit of SEO in there as well. And then thinking about what's coming up in spring, or you know, I mean, we always go down this route, and then maybe it's not appropriate to you, but like, what are the big movies coming out, and can you make a Avengers themed cookie of some kind, or like I don't know, when The Crown came out, like in the 1980s, was there a particular type of cookie that was being eaten then? I'm really spitballing here, but just some general ideas. But yeah, I mean, it looks as if, I mean, let's be fair, your channel's been around for 3 weeks. You're getting dozens of views on your content already. You haven't got many subscribers yet. You've only got 3, which is a bit curious. I'm wondering if you need to do some more calls to action to get people to subscribe. But yeah, it looks encouraging.
What I want to pick out there too is that, yes, we were speaking about a channel that's baking things, but I mean, pop culture can be applied to a lot of different categories on YouTube. And so if a new Spider-Man movie was coming out and this channel decided to make Spider-Man cookies leading up to the release, what could you do on your channel related to Spider-Man? Could you make some kind of animation, a meme, something, and there's incorporating pop culture when you're a new channel is how you can help with discoverability.
I am currently playing Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PS4.
So good.
And I'm enjoying it. I'm just discovering I think it's going to be a shorter game than the original Spider-Man, which is fine.
Short.
It's good. Enjoying it.
WandaVision cookies. It's a great idea, by the
There
way.
you go. Yeah, lovely idea.
Great show. Let's see.
Somebody's asking what the heck is a souffle. I don't know why that's questions in there, but we're not a cooking channel, so if you can help out there, Sweet Sheets and I forgot what your channel was called already.
Inside joke. I think maybe you were here on Friday. Maybe that's where I remember your name from. All right, let's see. All right. Does spamming keywords in the description hurt your SEO rank, or is that just a myth?
So what it might do is get your channel terminated, to be honest, because technically speaking, that is against YouTube terms of service. I think it is still, like tag stuffing, just putting in random words in descriptions. I personally haven't seen an example of it, anyone ever been having their channel terminated. I mean, I want to bring up a very small thing here, actually. I was thinking of making a video about this, but I decided not to. Mr. Beast just released a video, which was basically if somebody subscribes to his channel, he will donate 10 cents to charity. I think that video came out this week. And I was thinking, isn't that manipulating the metrics? Are you not, like in a backhanded way, buying subscribers doing that? I mean, I know you're not directly paying somebody, but you're saying that you will donate money. Anyway, I'm going off on a completely different tangent here. I think the honest answer is I don't think Mr. Beast's video is going to get banned for that. And I don't think your videos would get punished for having those keywords in there. But I don't think it makes any difference these days on... well, it might make a slight fraction of a difference. But don't just stick in tags into a description. Write out a full, legible, readable sentence that may actually help your audience when they're reading the description. But if it includes some keywords in there a little bit as well, that's fine. I know I've written descriptions in the past where I've said something along the lines of, so if you want to get 1,000 subscribers, then you are going to want to watch this video. And in this video, where we'll help you get 1,000 subscribers, we're going to talk about watch time, which is going to increase people's commitment to your content. And it may make them subscribe, which will help you get to 1,000 subscribers. So you see, it sounds a little bit clunky, but it's still readable in that sense. But I think ultimately, I think this is one of those waste of time things. Doing this, just keep it to the video tags.
Our own tool, as you're putting in tags, will then recommend, hey, you could add, this phrase to your description, but it doesn't mean just add it. You know, you can put it into a sentence, and if you said something similar, just reword that phrase to match the tag that's doing well. But yeah, don't stuff your videos with keywords. Just write a human readable description. I want to answer this question. Should I put hours and hours into working on my video and editing my video just for less than 10 people to see it? No, is my answer to you. Absolutely not. No, really. I'm gonna say this. Nobody knows you spend hours and hours editing your video if you don't have a good title or a good thumbnail, or your video isn't about a topic people are interested in seeing. So spend those same exact hours researching your next video, and spend a little less time refining it and perfecting it. That will come in time. You'll get better at editing. All this stuff will kind of flow. Take some online courses on video editing to get faster at that process. Do that on your own time. But when you're in YouTube work mode, use that time to research, because that's what's going to get more than 10 people to see your next video. This
may be a future TEDx talk from me. And it starts something along the lines of this. And people may disagree with me in the chat, and by all means, you can do. This is a personal opinion. But I feel that when you talk about quality versus quantity, to begin with, when you first start your YouTube channel, I think there should be a slight emphasis on quantity. And the reason for that is that I think that quantity leads to future quality, in the sense that, and I think Dan's alluded to this, it means you're repeating the YouTube reps. You're doing everything that's involved in making video content, whereby you're doing the keyword research, you're making the thumbnails, which is super important, scripting, editing, filming, etc., etc., etc. Yes, the making of a video is hugely important, but you can often do that to the detriment of pitching that video to the right audience. You can make a fantastic video and then you screw up the title and the thumbnail, and then nobody ever watches that video. And so all of that work has gone to waste, unfortunately. And as you say, I'm guessing that maybe you're early on in your YouTube journey. Right now, unfortunately, not many people are watching your content because they don't know you exist, which means that this is where you can experiment and you can practice making better thumbnails, writing titles that are really clickable and catchy and whatnot. And I mean, if your video is fantastic and 10 people watch it, then you should be getting an audience retention of like 60, 70%. So you've got to think about that as well. Like, you think your video is amazing, but does your audience? And what usually happens is that in 6 months' time, you look back on this video that you think is amazing because you put hours and hours into it, and you think, man, that was rubbish. Why did I spend so long creating that little graphic that took me ages to do? Whereas now I can do exactly the same thing in a few minutes. So just think about that. I mean, this is a question more about mindset, I think, at the moment. And try not to put so much emotional investment into a single video that, if flops, completely crushes you as a creator. For me, it's always a case of, I've finished this video, I'm moving on to the next thing. I'm moving forward, I'm thinking forward. And for a lot of creators, I'm sure anybody who's got more than 1,000 subscribers will attest to this. They've put hours and hours and hours of time into a video that's ultimately flopped. And then, or as an afterthought, they've just smashed something together in half an hour, and that turns out to be one of the most popular videos. And sometimes that's just the weird way YouTube works. And so I think I said this on the video about we screwed up. Like, you're not going to be defined by a single video on YouTube unless you allow it to. It's like all part of the learning journey. I hope that helped, laser blocks.
All right, let's see.
I feel as if I'm in Clubhouse mode here. I don't know if anybody's used Clubhouse, but you tend to just go on these 5-minute soliloquies just about stuff, because you know that for another 20 minutes you won't be saying anything because others are talking. I don't know if anybody's in Clubhouse and going to associate with that.
Let's see. Okay, so I'm just seeing some like general questions that kind of boil down to more subscribers. How do I get people to, subscribe, things like that. Like this one, I do tutorials, so people just watch without subscribing. Is there a fix you'd recommend? You can do a call to action, asking people to subscribe. We have a lot of videos on stuff like this, so that's why I hesitate to, single out questions like this. But yeah, it's check your retention. Are people dropping off? Are people leaving before you even get a chance to convince people to subscribe? So yeah, a lot of things you can be doing just to improve your content overall. I don't know if you have anything to add to that. I'm still looking for.
I guess I would say, if you're doing tutorials, I'm guessing you're doing tutorials based off of a successful channel that does similar tutorials. Maybe look at their channel and see. I mean, if you're subscribed to that channel, why did you subscribe? Is it because of the value that they gave, or is it because of something extra, like a little X factor? I'll look to Think Media in this example. Like, Think Media is a camera tech / YouTube growth channel, and they've got 1.5 million subscribers. So I kind of look up to them. And I wonder, why do I subscribe to their channel? I think it's because not only the value of their content, but the passion and energy of Sean Cannell, like the leader there, and all of the creators who are on there. They almost inspire you with what they're saying, and you kind of become part of their tribe. So yes, videos get discovered sometimes through search and discovery, but once they're in the content, how do you keep them there? I mean, if you watch vidIQ, do we just dryly give you answers to things, or do I do stupid comedy and make memes out of Dan so that I can somehow justify making fun of Dan? There you are.
It's pretty easy to justify, quite honestly. I make it easy. All right, this is an interesting question. How often should I change my thumbnail? First 24 hours? Should I wait for days to continue to change every time I see it doesn't work? So this is someone who's doing so much analysis on their channel that they've set changing their thumbnail as part of their flow, their workflow.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if I agree with that strategy, especially not for every single video. I would say if you make a video that you feel like it's just a knockout, right? You're really proud of it, you know, and it just does it way underperforms what you were expecting, then yeah, you could look at testing a different thumbnail. But after just one of those tests, I don't think I would continue personally, but that could just be me.
I know some channels that, like the largest channels, I think Mr. Beast, and I also think Chad Wild Clay do this to a certain extent, whereby if they're noticing that the numbers are really down, they will change the thumbnail in the first few hours. I think, yeah, let me just have a look at the Mr. Beast. I want to just check that video that I was talking about, because I'm sure he changed the thumbnail. Yeah, he did. So, yeah, let's just bring this up, Dan. Can you just bring Mr. Beast's channel? Now, I'm not doing this to rag on whether or not this is a video that should be banned on YouTube. I just want to talk about the thumbnail a little bit. So, and then if you go to his videos, so can you see that latest one? You might have to just take out. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So that was different. That thumbnail used to be an auto-generated thumbnail that was telling you the amount of money that they were donating. Now, whether YouTube have asked them to change that, it's entirely possible. But I know that thumbnail has changed in the first 24 hours that it was on YouTube. So that's an example. Now, can you go to the vidIQ channel, Dan? This may help Rado Yem, and then go to our community tab. Because I was a little unsure on a thumbnail, which one I should use a couple of days ago. So if you scroll down, this is all going to tie into this video about we screwed up and we nailed it. So I made 2 thumbnails and I just wasn't quite sure which one to use. Like, let's do some engagement now. Folks, which thumbnail would you choose? Yeah, I'm not going to answer this for a second. I'm not going to give you the answer. Which thumbnail would you choose out of these 2 to use for a video? Let us know in the comments. But this is an example, Radon Yem, of how to compare your canvas your community's opinion on which thumbnail you could potentially use. We've also got the thumbnail preview tool where you can compare that thumbnail against other channels before you even publish it to YouTube. So there's that as well. And hopefully there's some answers coming in soon. Yeah, there we are. So, so there we are. Everybody's saying the top one, just like they did in the community tab. Now, I was going to use the bottom one because I prefer that for whatever reason. But let's go with consensus. Let's go with our community. Went for the top one. And I think that's one of the reasons why the video did, I think, better than I was expecting it to.
Yeah, I would have chosen the top one as well. And to me, it's because your face is bigger. So it's just easier to see that animation right there, that reaction to something.
I like the bottom one because I was pointing at something specifically. And I guess you could see my eyes a little bit more. But, you know, I'm certainly in my minority and I don't mind that.
Yeah. So this is something you could do to test. I do want to show off the thumbnail preview tool now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is for anyone who's ever thought, gosh, like I don't know if this thumbnail is going to stack up. Let's see. So let's go to that video.
No, because what would you compare it against? Like, what's
you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I need to make that's part of the video actually. Like, it doesn't conform to any normal search terms.
Let's do mine.
Oh yeah, let's do. Yeah, go on. Then.
Yeah.
He wants to show
what you would do is if you're in your description where you edit the description, you would type a phrase that you want your video to rank for. So how to start a gaming channel. I'm not going to worry about in 2021 in this case, but basically the title of the video.
This is going to be funny. You're going to break our tool in a second, Dan, but go ahead.
You do it?
Yeah.
I'm going to break it? Okay.
Yeah. I see the problem is, Dan, that you already rank number 1. So you're just comparing your own thumbnail to yourself.
I guess I did it. Okay, so that's how I know it's a good thumbnail. No, let's pretend these aren't here. Your video will be I think this one. So there'll be a video on top of it.
Yeah, it's always ranked number 2.
Yeah. Now, this is not a guarantee that your video is going to rank number 2. It's telling you, hey, if your video happened to rank number 2, this might be what it looks like. So we can compare it against the other top ranking videos for how to start a gaming channel and make our own determination. Is this something that we think will stand out? And then we can even look at the home screen against a more random set of videos. Is our thumbnail standing out to us?
Yeah, I like the color there. I like the green tops as well. Yeah.
I think this just takes a lot of honesty. You know, you really just need to be honest with yourself. And then you can look on tablet and mobile as well.
I guess what you can do, Dan, is if you just skip out of this, go back to content. Because I have a video that I'm going to be launching probably tomorrow. So the top one, it's only a YouTube short, but I've made a thumbnail for it. So if you go there and then just like take how to get more views on YouTube shorts, just take that as as example. So this video isn't even published yet; it's private. But that's what. Look, my videos are ranking here. It's awesome. It's taking that thumbnail and saying this is how it's going to compare to others. Now we already have quite a strong presence there, so that's nice that it's kind of complementing what we've already done there. I mean, if we just continue to rank and we dominate that search page, that would be brilliant. But yeah, just remember this video doesn't exist technically on YouTube anymore, but it's showing you how it would look. So which one of these thumbnails might you click here?
Right. And this might be a tool we cover in a separate live stream at some point.
Yeah, almost definitely.
Do you know what status it is right now? Free or?
So I think you get 3 free previews, so you can test it as a free user.
Okay, cool. So yeah, this one might prevent you from making 6 or 7 thumbnails and testing them over a very long period of time. You can just look and at least pick your very best one going in, you know, give yourself the best chance. So look and see the videos that are ranking in this category and what yours look like next to them. Cool. All right.
Let's try this one. Inner Peace Flow. You started your channel a month ago and I've been experimenting with content, headings, etc. You have 10,000 impressions, but only 410 views. How can I convert more impressions into views? So let's take this as a very simple equation here, because what you're talking about here is click-through rate. In other words, how many people click on my thumbnails when they see it. And currently with 10,000 impressions and 400 views, if my maths is right, that's a rough click-through rate of about 4%, which as a channel that's first starting out, that's not too bad. What you need to do is benchmark that and say, right, it's currently 4%. I want to increase it to 6% or potentially 8%. And those are lofty goals. And when you increase your click-through rate, then YouTube, in theory, will give you more impressions, basically free advertising. And when that happens, as YouTube exposes your content to more of an audience, your click-through rate may go down again. But that's fine because YouTube's sharing it amongst more people. So basically, the answer here is that you need to look at your thumbnails and start to think about how you can make them more click-worthy and how they're going to tie into your titles. Because ultimately, the first challenge is getting somebody's attention in 1 second as they're scrolling through the feed and your thumbnail catches their attention. So I mean, it's good that you've kind of by accident identified something that a lot of people ignore for months, if not years, on their YouTube channels, which is making better thumbnails. We've got tons of help on that. I mean, you've just seen the tools that we've used to talk about thumbnails just previously. So check out all of that stuff.
There you go. So we have the opposite problem here. Good click-through rates, but I still get low impressions. It's hard to reach 1,000 impressions, to be honest.
Okay, so there's potentially 2 things to this. The first one is usually the case that this is something you just need to be patient with. Like if you are getting good click-through rate and combined with good view duration, because that's important as well, or audience retention, then eventually YouTube will start to share your content out to more people. The problem is for all creators is they don't know when that's going to happen. For some creators, it happens in weeks. For some, it takes months. For some, it takes years. And you just have to be patient with that. Because if the data is telling you you're doing something right, then it stands to reason that unless there's a glitch or something, YouTube will reward you. On the other hand, what might be the case, which I think is unlikely, but I just want to say it so that you can consider this, it might be that there's just not a big audience for the content that you're making. So it may be that you're already at your peak of a niche. But as I say, that's probably very unlikely because there's usually a large audience for anything on YouTube. And so it just might be that there are not many people searching for it. There's not many people watching that content. But those who are, find your content and watch it and are satisfied. But that's ultimately the extent of where this is going to go. But as I say, I think that's unlikely. I think it's more just require patience.
It just depends, honestly. I mean, in gaming, I've seen a lot of content get released with a very low ceiling. Like people like to cover older games sometimes because they're fans of them, and there's just not a lot of fans of that game left. Maybe because there's a sequel, maybe something better came out at one point. So sometimes things have just a low ceiling, and you need to be aware of that as you're choosing your niches on YouTube. But yeah, we don't really know without looking at your channel which case it is. But I agree with everything Rob just said.
I've had a quick look, so I can give a bit more context. So you it looks like you started to make more videos in the last month. It looks like you're making one video a week right now, and with 200 subscribers, you're getting views in like the hundreds to 150. So that's very encouraging. Like to have a similar view count to subscriber count is always a good sign. But yeah, I think just keep plugging away. I mean, it looks like you're I think you've started to take this seriously in the last 3 months. I think give it 6 months, give it 9 months. What usually happens at this point is that you're kind of on this. I'm going to try and do some graphics with my hands. So you're kind of on this like steady, very slow trajectory, and then something. Dan, you've cut me off now. I can't see the question. Right, so you're doing that, and then all of a sudden, one video will kind of do that, and then you'll be on a different benchmark, and you'll be going a bit higher, and then it'll do that. But you just don't know when that's going to happen, and that can be really frustrating. So just have the patience.
Yeah, those are good hand movements.
StreamYard needs to allow me to draw. Can I draw on it? God, that would be fantastic if I could.
See a
I
draw
don't think
button.
there is an annotation thing.
Someone asked how we got these questions up, but we seem to get that every single time we do this. Yeah, we're using a program called StreamYards for the live stream, and
which is free, by the way. I mean, I don't think it allows you to do all of these graphics, but you can have templates.
Yeah, they're limited, but it's free.
And you can stream with it gaming wise, Dan, but it's not a fantastic experience, is it? You can do it, but that's it. You can do it. Yeah, I mean, you're better off using OBS.
You can capture your screen, your desktop, but there's some latency issues there. Hopefully one day I can use this for gaming because it'd be awesome.
Thank you for the super chat, by the way, whoever sent this. There's still a bug in YouTube whereby the pinned comment obscures the first super chat. So I can see that they've sent us a green blobby potato thing, but I don't know who the name is, and I don't know how much of sent us. But thank you. And I think I'd have to get rid of the super chat of a pinned comment to see it.
They know who they are.
Yes, we thank you, mysterious super chat.
All right. Let's see. Remember to put hashtag question in front of your questions. Try not to spam. Let everyone get a chance to ask something here. I start reading one and then it jumps really far. Were you seeing anything?
I'm having a look. But yeah, as you said, just as I start to read one, the comment jumps.
I have to scroll and then start picking them out. So like I update it and then I start scrolling.
So yeah, this is where StreamYards isn't that good either.
Yeah, please don't spam though. We're seeing a lot of spam. I'm actively ignoring ones that have been just copying and pasting over and over and over again. I mean, within the span of a few seconds.
All right, I'm gonna. I might just click some and do some really quick answers to some of these.
Oh, super sticker from Mr.
Milbs. Yeah, I think this was another guy who like really appreciated our channel audit. He was one of the dank meme channels, Dan, but they had really good thumbnails. If you remember from yesterday,
yeah,
like where we could actually, even though it's like a bit like a comedy memey stuff, we could actually follow the logic of the channel a little bit.
Yeah.
So thank you for your Australian $1.49.
Were you about to find a question?
Yeah, so like just this one, like very quickly. Audience retention or click-through rate? Both. But if you want to, but I guess it's probably easier. It's probably easier, quicker, and more efficient to make better thumbnails than better content. I know that sounds really weird, but like a thumbnail probably takes you like a couple of hours to make, whereas content could take you days to make.
Why pick one when you can do both? I mean,
yeah, there you go.
Work on getting good retention over time. Like if you post a video and it gets poor retention, then start to learn from that. At the same time, you should be trying to up your level of thumbnail art.
Yeah, let's just see if we can quickly go through some of these. Why don't I get more likes when my views are above 1,000 views? Am I doing something wrong? What's your expectation for likes? My general ratio here is like if you're getting 1 like for every 10 views, then that's not too bad. I kind of equate that similarly to comments as well. I mean, you can ask for them like as a lower third, but don't go in, don't spend ages saying smash that like button. I think it's one of those smaller signals again that can help, but isn't huge. Maybe it's people don't like your content. I know that sounds obvious, but if you combined, I think the thing is here, if you're getting lots of likes and dislikes, then people care about your content.
Yep.
But if people are doing nothing, like they're not giving you likes or dislikes, and they're not posting comments, and they're not watching for a long time, then put simply, they don't care enough about your comments, care enough about your videos to engage in them. Again, and that's a bit of a broad answer, but this is one where we'd need to take a look at your channel directly.
We do that on Tuesdays, in fact.
We do. Although we don't look at the content on Tuesdays.
Yeah,
but if you did the one-to-one coaching session, they definitely would there.
If you are enjoying this live stream and you haven't already, and you want to hit the like button, we would appreciate it.
See, I do this in a funny way where on a Tuesday, as I say, like, we've got 500 people watching and we only have 300 likes. So damn all of you 200 people who haven't liked. But today, we're currently in YouTube Inception mode, where we have 226 people who are watching, but 377 likes. So curse all of you 150 people who've abandoned our live stream. It's not our fault. We haven't done anything wrong.
It's not your fault. Maybe it's me.
It's not us. It's not the creators. It's you. It's you, the viewer. Okay.
Jeez.
You got better stuff to do, eh? Playing video games, I bet. Eh? Oh dear.
Let's see here.
I always feel as if I'm like one sentence away from just getting in so much trouble, and somehow I managed to keep it together. Look, by saying that, Dan, we've now got 400 likes.
Hey,
we've got an extra 20 likes by me dissing the audience.
So do we get paid for likes? Well, why do you think we care about it so much?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a KPI, and I've got to hit a certain amount of likes.
Rob has to answer his boss every month.
I'm not judged on how many times I sell vidIQ or anything like that. It's just thumbs up. It's just all about vanity here at vidIQ.
Mm-hmm. And for every dislike a video gets, they pluck a hair off his head.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've seen the memes. I used to have hair.
Oh no!
I want to click on this one. I've lost it now. There we go. Here we go. No, where's it gone? Well, we'll have to answer this one now because I've clicked on it by accident. Do you have any audio delay on your own headphones while streaming on StreamYard? I don't. I've never noticed any problems.
You might notice a delay between my mouth and my microphone, and if you didn't before, I'm sorry. That's mostly my camera. I'm using a DSLR with a USB connection, so it's a little bit of latency there.
Me too.
I'm getting real-time feedback in my headphones because of the mixer I'm using. So my headphones are plugged directly into that, and that's how I can hear myself without that delay. Like if you turned it on Windows, for example, you'd get that echo.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have started talking about this is now becoming a HR issue.
We do.
You see, before I wanted to click on this one, which was about Dan H, saying thank you, Dan H, for being in the community, but I can't find it now.
I guess it didn't happen.
Yeah,
just making stuff up. All right, so let's see.
Rob Lisa, my son has 3,000 subscribers. Well, congratulations on your son, but constantly about 300 views. His channel, okay. So this is another real question about vanity. In like, don't try and get tied up in the numbers because they will just drive you insane. Mm-hmm. Like this will just get worse and worse in one sense. Like vidIQ gets, let me have a look at my counter. We're at 796,000 subscribers right now. And yet when I launch a video, I'm happy if it gets 15,000 views in the first day. So what's the conversion rate there? About 2 or 3%. And a lot of people always say in the comments like, haha, your channel only has your YouTube growth channel and you get 5,000 views in your first 24 hours. And I so want to respond every single time with, we'll take the 60 million channel views we have, because what people often don't realize is that some of those videos that don't take off to begin with do in 6 months' time and they get tons of views because we are an educational channel and we are still somewhat search driven. So boo-ha, rats to anybody who posts that comment. So going back to your channel, 300 views for a 3,000 subscriber channel, it's not bad. It's 10% of your audience is engaged. So the problem is, and sometimes this is unavoidable, people subscribe because of a certain piece of content, and then they either lose interest because their viewing habits change, or because they needed an answer to a question, and it's like, I got that aha moment. That's really useful. I'm going to subscribe to this channel, without realizing that they're probably not going to go back to their channel again. I mean, you get this with DIY channels. You know, like if you, how many times do you need to know how to unblock a toilet or tie a tie? It's like a one solution thing. So why do tie a tie channels have, sometimes hundreds of thousands of subscribers? People will stick around because of the creator. So your son, presumably as he gets better at making video content, will become more personable. His content will become more unique, to a point where the viewer is saying, I have to go to it's so large channel because they're so funny, or because they're so good at playing this particular game, etc., etc., etc. So try not to get too worried about the subscribers versus view counts. Yes, you'd always like to have more views for your subscribers, but sometimes, I mean, I'm talking about it from a mindset point of view. There are ways to improve this, of course, but it's just the nature of YouTube. Like Mr. PewDiePie has 110 million subscribers, and I think his videos get on average, let's say 5 million views. So that's 5%. That's 1 in 20 people, perhaps, who've subscribed to PewDiePie who actually watch his content. And that's kind of like similar to you in one sense.
I want to put this into perspective for everybody right now. For those of you who get a subscriber and you think, oh, cool, that's like a guaranteed view, or at least I hope it is. We alone are subscribed to over 300 channels. See that on the left side here. Yeah. But I have a feeling that a lot of people, if you look at this list in your homepage right now, you can scroll down a little bit, subscriptions, see if there's a drop down that tells you how many channels you're subscribed to. And you might be surprised at how many times you've hit that button. Do you remember all the channels? I'm not going to scroll through all of them, but do you remember all the channels you've ever subscribed to? People hit the button in a moment of time. And it's kind of like, I always look at it as their seal of approval. Hey, this person liked my content enough to subscribe. Maybe I can get them to come back one day. But as time goes on, you subscribe to more and more channels. How often do you unsubscribe to channels? How often do you think, I really got to clean this list up? I use it all the time, and it's getting cluttered now with channels I don't watch anymore.
Can you do a search for MKBHD? This might be an interesting one, because I always watch his videos on the vidIQ channel. Oh, we are subscribed. Because like half the time I watch videos from channels and forget to subscribe, just because YouTube is so good at recommending the content. Like I'll just watch it because it's there.
I watch a lot of videos from channels I'm not subscribed to, and consistently the homepage knows I like them, and watching enough of them is akin to subscribing, except they didn't get a subscription from me. They just show it enough. And I think a lot of people, YouTube's designed that way, and I think a lot of people use it that way. So while YouTube gamifies the subscribe button, you can get a cool thing to hang on your wall. I want one, like they're awesome. Just don't give that so much weight. Worry more about, getting your next video discovered rather than what your channel as a whole is doing in terms of subscribers.
And this is multiplied by a factor of infinity when you bring YouTube Shorts into the equation. Like, you can gain so many subscribers from YouTube Shorts, and then they don't watch any of your content when you make a video longer than a minute. And that's something that I think YouTube still need to fix.
I've more than doubled my subscribers since making shorts, and I haven't made a video in like 2 weeks, and I'm still gaining subscribers at a really decent clip thanks to just a couple of shorts that blew up. And when I do a live stream, I'm not noticing crazy high, concurrent viewership from that. It's just people are hitting the button. It's bright red. It's at the bottom. It's really easy to click. And, they're not coming back because they're probably doing that for many, many, many shorts that they watch.
I've got a question for you all right now. I may be putting Dan in it here, but are you enjoying this live stream? Because I'm loving it. I'm actually just really enjoying, what's the word? Shooting the breeze. What's that term? When you just
shooting the poo.
No, not that phrase. We're just chewing the cud. Is that the word as well?
What's that better?
But let us know in the chat, because if you're really enjoying this, I'm willing to hang around for at least another 25 minutes, and at which point I'll take my dog for a walk, because then it will be lunchtime. But you see, this is one of these trap questions, and I'm out of focus for some reason. One of these trap questions where it's like, do you want something for free, or do you want us to do this? So everyone's going to say yes. I know I was going to say no. I think what I will say is that a lot of channels do this. If we can get our likes up to 450 in the next 3 minutes, then we'll hang around for another 25 minutes. And Dan, I don't know if you even can. You might have a meeting, but are you good?
No, I'm good.
You're good. Okay. So yeah, we need to get the likes on this video up to 450 in the next 3 minutes, or I'm off. I'm going. I'm not going to give you any more help. I'm done for the day. You see, we're at 435 right now. I mean, some people are probably saying, I've already liked the video. Like, who are those few people who haven't liked this video yet to get us up to 450? I should do this more often. This is so easy. So easy to manipulate YouTube and get what we want from them. Like, we're at 448 now. We just need 2 more. 2 more and we're there.
It's so easy to manipulate.
It's so easy. You're some fools. What are you doing here? Like, everything I tell you is complete rubbish. How easy? 455 likes. Like, and if it goes below 450, I'm off as well. So don't retract your likes. Let's take another question, Dan. Come on, hurry up.
Looking, everyone, no one's asking questions anymore. We've lost control.
Oh, dear.
Here, this is the only question I could find. Can I?
So can I get more views by sharing on one social media platform? So I think the struggle here is this is something that we've actually struggled a little bit with vidIQ, in that whenever you try and plug your stuff on another social media platform, it just feels like spam most of the time, unless you can turn it into some sort of engaging content. And I think Dan H, I'll give him credit here, he's doing a really wonderful job of increasing engagement on our other platforms without necessarily pushing people to YouTube. I think, for example, Dan started posting stuff about, how does monetization work, and how does getting custom URL. And instead of just posting a link to the YouTube video, he's just telling people in the tweet. And that's not necessarily going to get them into YouTube, but at least you're getting that person into your social media bubble, and then maybe you can do more with them and engage them elsewhere. So, like, let's say that you provide something valuable on Twitter. They start following you on Twitter. The natural thought might be in the future is, oh, they're talking about YouTube on Twitter. I wonder if I've actually got a YouTube channel and I can subscribe to that. So think of it along those lines. But Dan, you may have other ideas about this, because I'm just a YouTube guy mostly. I'm terrible on other platforms.
I really do want people to listen to tomorrow's Tube Talk episode, or you can listen to it now on the YouTube channel.
So hang on, stop right there, Dan. So hang on. I've just talked about not promoting people to go onto other platforms, and now you're telling people to go from this YouTube live stream to Tube Talk. Go ahead.
It's here already. They don't have to listen to it on the podcast feed if they don't want to, but we have a lot of good podcasts over there. Just saying. We talked about that exact topic of, should you be posting your videos on a bunch of other social media platforms? And we also talked about it in the sense of, every time you start a social media journey with your YouTube channel as the theme, you're managing yet another platform. So you have YouTube, you have your comments and your community tab and all that. Then you have a Discord server, and then maybe you start a Twitter. And that's 3 things right there that all need their own type of maintenance. They all have their own strategies depending on your goals. So the more you do, the more you spread yourself thin. That's why we have a community manager at vidIQ. It's somebody's actual job to help us manage our community and all the different places we are here on the internet. So everything.
Well, hang on, it's not a job if he doesn't get paid. He's a volunteer. Is that right? That's right, Dan, isn't it?
Yeah, let's go with that. I mean, does getting paid in doll hairs count? Dogecoin. Yeah. Well, today that might not be so bad.
Has it gone up again?
I'm not following it. I know for a minute it was, though. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I think that you should focus trying to, make the very best searchability for your videos on YouTube. Help YouTube help you, and make the social pushes secondary. That's going to be the best thing. If you just use your social media to spam links, you're going to find that no one engages with your tweets. My old Twitter, I've basically ruined it, because all I used to do is post links. And now when I post anything, I get nothing, like no likes, no comments, no anything. And I have a feeling it's because Twitter doesn't, Twitter's like YouTube. It tries to promote people who your followers actually engage with. So if people following you don't engage with you anymore, because all the times you posted, they didn't, where do you go?
It's just reminded me of this. Dan did something excellent yesterday. He, or was it on Monday? He asked people to describe their channel in a GIF or a GIF. And the best one would get a channel audit on the live stream. So we were encouraging people to use Twitter to engage with us, but there was a reward at the end of it if you watchers on YouTube, and I think it was Amy Louise. I don't know if she's still, Amy Louise is still here, and I think it was her gift that won, and so she got the channel audit. So like this whole story is evolving. This is today is all about Amy Louise. Ultimately, it comes back to her whenever we talk about engagement. We did a tweet. I think we had like 100 submissions. Amy Louise's was the best. She got a channel audit yesterday. We had a little bit of a conversation about thumbnails on Twitter yesterday, but now she's in the live stream as well, probably feeling a little embarrassed because I'm singling her out. But like I think that's the greatest example of how you can influence, hopefully in a positive way, and inspire people on an individual basis. And that hopefully Amy Louise has had some fun playing games with us. Now we've given her some value. She's hopefully going to make those thumbnails, which, fingers crossed, improve the click-through rate on her channel, and then that she can take her content and can really inspire her audience. And that's ultimately, I think, what we're trying to do here at vidIQ. I'd said it in a video recently about like my advice for starting a YouTube channel. Yes, the views are fantastic, the watch time's great, etc., etc. If I monetize the channel, that'll be really good as well. But what it boils down to often times is when I see comments from people saying, "You've inspired me to start a channel on YouTube," or "You've inspired me to keep going," I feel as if I've done my job as a YouTube educator, because, fingers crossed, that creator does the same thing with their audience. Not necessarily to encourage them to start a YouTube channel, but if they're playing a certain video game, it inspires that viewer to start playing that video game as well and really enjoy something. Or like with Amy Louise, it inspires these people to try new beauty products so that they can feel more confident in the way they look. Ultimately, hopefully, it's all about positivity and inspiration in whatever topic we're talking about. That was the end of my TED Talk. Can I get some more likes, please? 475.
Do we edit our own videos? Premiere Pro? Yes and yes. For me, anyway, I use Premiere.
Yes and no. So I do edit my own videos, but I use Camtasia. The reason for that is because I do a lot of screen recordings, and Camtasia is, I think it primarily was a screen recording program to begin with. But there are certain things that I can't do in Camtasia. But like there's 10% of the things I would like to do in Camtasia that I can't do, that I could do maybe in Adobe Premiere Pro. But the 95% of things I can do in Camtasia are so fast and quick that that's why I stick with it. An example of this is in Camtasia, you can press Control-A and it creates a keyframe for animations, which then you can manipulate very quickly. Whereas in a Premiere Pro, you have to go into so many windows, and because you can do so much customization and flexibility, it means that you got to do so many more things. But maybe that's a limitation. You know, maybe my video editing is a ceiling. I know, for example, like my text and the graphics on my Camtasia videos can be a little to be desired, and I want to improve that, but I don't know if Camtasia is going to allow me to do that, and I might need to start using Filmora or Adobe Premiere Pro, which allows me more flexibility in graphics and that type of thing.
Well, one thing it would help with too is you and I could collaborate more like we do in Photoshop.
It could help me to be in focus as well. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll ask Rob for help on a thumbnail. I can send him the PSD. We can't do that if we don't both use Premiere, which we get around just fine, but just an example. So now some channels out there do get big enough, get to this level, and they do hire people specifically to edit their content, to create thumbnails. And that is something you can do if you become somebody who has a channel coach to help you out. And we have this special running for the next 4 days. If you upgrade to Boost for a whole year, you can get a one-on-one with one of our fabulous channel coaches, and they've taken people to that level where they're actually hiring staff to help them run their YouTube channels.
I got a question, Dan. Would you ever want somebody to edit your content?
I think so. I mean, it's hard because I am that kind of perfectionist. I really do care about the way my content looks. My editing is part of my voice.
Yeah.
And so that part is difficult. I think you need to be willing to let that go. But also it's about hiring the right person too, and you know, training them to tell them, like, this is how my videos normally look. I want them to look like this. I want the quality to be better, but I want to still be me. You know, you work with people, you know, you have to be able to, I think you have to have a really good awareness of who you are as a content creator to do that successfully and get somebody to edit your videos to the level that you expect, to where it looks like you never took your hands off the wheel.
I'm such a control freak that this may happen at some point in the future. But because I enjoy the editing process far more than the filming process, because I always find filming just nerve-wracking because there's so many variables, and if you get it wrong, you got to start again. And the other thing is, like, when I'm in complete control of something, it means that I can bring the video to market so much quicker. Like, once you involve collaborations, things can take days, and when you're putting something together like a hot YouTube story, I just want to get it out there as soon as possible to beat the rush, so to speak. But yeah, that might be an interesting thing that we have to tackle in the future. And I've just realized when I put my face behind my microphone, I go out of focus because the camera can't track my face, and then when I bring it out, it's in focus.
That's why it's been doing that the whole time.
Yeah, something new I've learned there.
All right, so let's see what else we got here. So we're gonna go back to answering questions. We promise.
I don't think. Do you like this kind of casual, laid-back way that they're doing that? I love this.
I do.
Just occasionally answering questions when we feel like it.
Okay, kind of a interesting question here, but we're not lawyers, but the question is, by just adding commentary and muting the audio of a video, would that qualify for fair use? YouTube has guidelines that explain fair use a lot better than we can. I'm not an advocate for this style of content creation, and it's partially because I don't understand it. So take that, take what I'm going to say with a grain of salt for that reason. Partially because I just wouldn't risk it. There's been so few times in my own journey where I've taken footage from something that isn't mine. And when I do, I don't just credit that in the description. I put, during the time that footage that isn't mine is on the screen, I have a thing in the corner of the screen that says, like, from the blank YouTube channel or whatever. And I use just a few seconds of it. I use almost none, because that's, to me, I know it's in the guidelines of fair use. You're not supposed to use all of it in its entirety. You're supposed to be using it as, a way to enhance your own content and maybe even that content. I've never known how reaction channels do it. I know that's a whole conversation. What are your thoughts on that?
So I think, to answer the question, like, from a very high up perspective, what you're saying here is that you're going to add commentary and mute the audio. I think the core of the copyright question is, and fair use is the content transformative? And by you muting the audio and then adding commentary, it sounds like you are on the right path to a transformative piece of content. But there is still an abundance of caveats here. And I think the thing you have to remember is that usually when we talk about YouTube, we're saying you don't try and beat the algorithm, make content for an audience. Kind of with copyright, it's almost the opposite way around, in that you are making content on a system that is scanning for this type of stuff, and it can get it wrong a lot of the times, whereby it's clearly fair use, but YouTube systems treat it as copyright. And once it's gone into the automation process, then you have to try and get a manual review. That can take time. There's only a certain amount of resources allowed to YouTube, and like, how much time and effort is YouTube going to put into allowing your content to be non-copyright? You got to then contact the copyright owner, that type of thing. Sometimes it's a case of you just don't have the clout on YouTube to because it's likely that you're not asking for permission. So like, this is a case of where you're asking for forgiveness rather than for permission. And so it's up to YouTube whether or not they're going to forgive you for this, and the copyright owner. And I was just thinking earlier on today, in this video that I want to make about us, like, we've made a video about screwing up, and now I'm going to make another video about we nailed it. And one of the things I want to put in there is, like, I've totally redeemed myself. And when I said that phrase, I thought about Dumb and Dumber. And I was actually looking earlier on YouTube, like, do they have that clip? I don't know if you've seen Dumb and Dumber, where he gets a little moped. He trades in a car for a moped, the mutt car. And then he says, just that when I think you haven't done it, you couldn't do anything dumber. You do something like this. And totally redeem yourself. And I wanted to include that as a clip at the beginning of the video. But then, like, my copyright head came on and said, it's parody, but I'm not going to be talking over it. Yeah. YouTube, as you say, Dan, in those few seconds, YouTube could just decide that's copyright. And for us, it probably wouldn't be too bad. We might get a copyright claim, but we don't monetize our content anyway. Heavens forbid we get a copyright strike. So there's always that in the back of your mind, whether you would get that. So I've just decided, you know what? I'm not going to include it. I'm just going to do something else. Now, unfortunately for this channel, the entire channel sounds like it's based on our commentary.
I was going to say.
So yeah, it's as you say, we're not lawyers, and this is a difficult one to answer. But I think the smaller the channel, unfortunately, the less YouTube can do to help you in this sense. Like, you got to get permission, and even when you get permission, it'll probably go through YouTube's systems, and then it'll be copyright, and then you say, yeah, but the copyright owner gave you permission, and
you gotta fight that. Who has time for that? I'll say a couple things here. One, asking or giving credit is not the same as getting permission.
Yes, that doesn't work. Don't, if you think you're going to get away from it doing that, nope.
Yeah, so make sure you understand fair use. Take the time to actually read through legal jargon that you don't want to read through if your whole channel is going to be based on this. The other thing I'll say is I'm seeing a Fortnite avatar here. Fortnite is a free game. Why do you need to use someone else's video to get your point across in your commentary? If let's say you're covering somebody who gets really good headshots, right? You're doing a news channel about Fortnite people. So-and-so got the best headshot. Now, you could put a footage of their live stream up throughout the entire time, or you could use little tiny clips of it and then use your own Fortnite footage as you give, commentary. It's a free game. You can record the footage yourself, and then you save yourself having to do all of that legwork of not only getting someone else's video and then dealing with not only getting someone else's video, but then dealing with the incessant copyright claims that are sure to follow. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it purely because you're asking the question. And so you're already doing legwork to try and see if this is an okay thing to do in the first place.
And the final point is never use other channels as an example of, yeah, well, they've done it. That means surely I can do it. Because first of all, you don't know their personal circumstances, that channel. They may have permission. Or, you could see that channel this week, and next week they've been copyright strikes off the platform.
Yeah. Do not want that. Could you imagine just getting started on YouTube, like momentum, and then as soon as you get that momentum, YouTube realizes you've been stealing content and they pull all your videos?
Well, that happens as well, isn't it? Like, you may be able to get away with it to begin with. Like, we do this, we say this all the time on channel audit live streams. There's these small channels that are maybe picking up traction, and all it is the majority of it is somebody else's content. And we're kind of saying, YouTube's going to find out at some point, or somebody's going to report you, or the original copyright owner is going to report you. And then that's it, you're gone. YouTube is always going to promote original content. Now, commentary, reactions is that kind of somewhat gray area. And I sympathize if your content is clearly fair use, but YouTube systems just don't realize that.
Should I start thinking about my brand after hitting 1,000 subscribers? For example, memberships, super chat, stickers, etc.
I
would say within reason.
You can start experimenting. I mean, I guess super chats and stickers is the most indirect way of starting for somebody to start financially committing to you and supporting you, because there's no obligation. Like, super chats and stickers aren't behind a paywall, in the sense that if you don't send the channel a super chat, you're going to miss out on something. I mean, you can use that as a way to promote questions to the top of the list. Like, if we were a channel trying to make income from the channel, we were saying, if you send us a super chat, we'll prioritize your question. But that's something we strictly don't do, because we're not trying to create financial barriers on the channel. Memberships. The thing about memberships is that suddenly it becomes there's a definite commitment there. Like, if you set up a membership scheme where it's $5 and you promise more content, private live streams, etc., you have to deliver on them, because somebody's paying for it. And if they don't, then you'll quickly lose those members, and you may get, negative bad rap in the community at large.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, can you get memberships at 1,000 subscribers? I'm not sure.
I don't know when that starts. I just had the luxury of having it when the feature dropped, because I already was in the partnership program.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I would say that if that is the case, I wouldn't do that right away. I definitely give some very careful thought to what you're going to offer people. One of the tips that YouTube themselves give is make sure your rewards are ones that can scale. What that means is make sure that you're not saying, hey, for every member, I'm going to write you a personal note and send it to you in the mail. So, and then what happens when all 1,000 subscribers become members? You need to make sure that it's the same work, whether you have 1 member or 100 members.
Now, what you do have with 1,000 subscribers is you will now have the community tab, which isn't like a kind of financial maker right now, but it is a very good way to stay in touch with your community when you're not posting videos. So certainly start to, I was going to say exploit because I'm just thinking of the Spiffing Britain, his thing, but start to embrace a community tab and share it with your audience.
Yes, I'm trying to use my mouse to click on more questions, but the cat is standing on it. Okay, there we go. Sorry, cats and live streams don't mix. Let's see here. Hello to everybody who's perhaps just joining us. Been doing Q&A for a while here. You seeing anything?
No, I'm just distracted. I'll come back to you in a second. I just need to
okay.
check something out.
Okay, kind of an interesting question. What do you guys say about Google Ads? Is it good to take? Is it good to take? Does it work? So I think what you're asking is it good to make Google ads on your videos and promote them that way? I personally don't think that's a great idea, especially when you're just starting out. There may be, you may want to test it for fun just to try it, but keep your expectations low. A lot of people will just see the ad. They'll hit skip as soon as they can, not because of you, just because people skip ads. And, what'll happen is you'll get all the videos that you were supposed to get based on the duration of your campaign, and you won't really have any watch time from it. You won't get any new subscribers from it. It's better to try and grow a channel organically. But if you're really curious about it, and if Google maybe gave you a couple bucks to try it, you could try it, but just temper expectations, like we said earlier.
I'm back now.
Welcome back.
Yeah, well, I think we're close to finishing now as well, aren't we?
We are. I'll tackle this one real quick, though. How do I keep my gaming channel fun to watch for Let's Plays? You should watch my gaming video, my latest how to start a gaming channel video. And I do touch on that quite a bit. But if you make Let's Plays and you want to keep them fun to watch, try and keep an eye on your retention, perhaps on ones you've done already. Look and see where people are dropping off, and then judge for yourself. Why do people drop off? Do I sound kind of bored here? Edit your Let's Plays. Make sure you have concise editing. Keep all the action in there. Get all the dry bits out. There's no reason to keep those moments of like just lull where you're quietly gathering wood in Minecraft or whatever you're doing. And then to get your Let's Plays more discoverable, worry less about the episode number and more about what you did in that Let's Play. So make it more of a tutorial.
I just want to give props here to Early 17, who's watching at the worst hour of the day. Well, not the worst hour, the hour where most people are asleep. I mean, that's commitment. Thank you, Early 17. You really are early if you're watching at 3:57 a.m. in Asia.
A fitting name.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions? I still can't use my computer very well right now.
Oh, really? Because the cat's destroying it.
Yeah.
I
control my mouse here.
Go on, Dan. I'll let you.
Oh boy.
I'll let you tackle this one, and then we'll.
Do I stick to one type of content like gaming, or multiple types of content? No, one type of content, please. Not just one type of content being gaming and then cooking, and I'll just choose gaming. No, try and stick to one game. Try and stick to one facet of one game if you can, if the game's big enough.
Especially when you're a smaller channel,
yes.
to build up a bit of authority and community on something that your audience knows what you're going to talk about every time they come to see one of your videos on your channel.
Earlier today, we pointed at how many subscriptions we have on this channel right now. Over 300 channels we're subscribed to. If someone subscribes to you, that subscriber is potentially fragile. And if you make a video, your very next video after they subscribe is something that doesn't relate at all to what they subscribe for, they're probably not going to watch that video. And that is a strike against you in YouTube's algorithm. And they're going to go, okay, well, you didn't like that one. Maybe we'll surface the next one to you. And they do. And then it's about a totally different game, and they didn't come back. And now you're like, well, I have 1,000 subscribers, but I get like 20 views from them. Well, if you keep switching topics, that's likely going to happen. You wanted me to tackle it, and I tackled it.
Consider that tackled. All right, then. I think it's time, Dan. I think we're giving our audience 2 hours of. Well, I think we've probably given our audience like 87 minutes of value and another 33 minutes of sort of random Wilson waffle and comedy. I think that's a good ratio. I'll take that.
I think so too. I think we did good work here. I think a lot of people got their questions answered. I think
Just remember, as
really
I put on my compression gloves, what we showed you at the start of this live stream, which was a community tool to help you respond to many, many more comments than you would otherwise be able to do without vidIQ's Chrome extension. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, make sure you do, because it is free, that tool that we showed you.
Yes. And now you should have a lot more ideas as to how you can get even more comments so you can make the best use of that very tool. All right. Well, thank you for being here, Rob. I say we bail on everybody right now, and maybe just leave a blank screen up for
we just abandon them. It's like we've thrown you. Yeah, consider Dumb and Dumber, like when no, that's a really bad example. Forget it. I don't know what I was going to talk about there. Sometimes my analogies just don't work.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.